El Reno Airport Authority, regular meeting order, Tuesday, August 9th, 2022, 5:30. Start roll call with Mr. Jensen. Here.
Trustee Stephen.
Here.
Trustee White.
Yes.
Vice Chairman Ryder.
Here.
Chairman Robinson.
Yes. We'll move on to C, recognition awards, proclamations, and presentations. Recognition for the Oklahoma Airport Operators Association for being the 2021 Airport of the Year. That's exciting news. Mr. Sanders, would you briefly touch on that for us?
Sure. And we've got a representative from the OAOA here to present the award. We have our airport manager, Bailey Kinnemer. She's here as well.
Come on up here, you two.
Yeah. So Bailey, can you tell us a little bit about, the Oklahoma Airports Operator Association, OAOA? What exactly are they, or what do they do? Yeah. Okay, sure.
So, OAOA, or Oklahoma Airport Operator Association, is a organization that was started about in, I believe, the 70s, and it is a collective of the airport operators in Oklahoma, predominantly to share knowledge, help other airport directors, or help communities that can't afford or have too small of an airport to have an airport director to manage their airport, which would grow the airport and aviation industry as a whole in Oklahoma.
We've been members for a long time. I mean, we've been members of that deal for as long as I've done, even back in the 90s. It's a good organization, and we're excited. I think the main thing is we're excited about all the projects that we're going out there, that we've done out there, and I think hopefully that's why you all gave us awards, not that or that check we gave you. We've managed that airport real well. I mean, we've really grown that airport, over the last probably, I'm going to say last 8 years, Timmy, don't you think? And the fuel farm and the master plan that we've got is one of the best ones. When we first came on, we had problems with basically fuel in the water system because the tanks were buried underground. We got that whole system up above on a grant. We built some new T-hangers out there. We have a great board that's very active. Most of them all fly. They're all interested. I think only one of them doesn't have anything to do with aviation, but it's such a good group. We've done apron extensions over the period of time. It's been real well and real good for us to do that. We've done a lot of partnerships with a lot of that matching money that we've got over the years with the 90%, or I'm sorry, 80-20 matching money that we've got in the 90-10 matching money on both sides of that. We've done the runway rehab that's coming up, and then also the terminal construction rehab coming up. We met with Dillard Miller on some of those projects, so we're really kind of moving forward. We'll be able to present that to you in the next couple of months to get that on the deal. So we're real excited about all the things. And Buddy, you've just done such a great job out there. And really the board overall, we've gone through a couple of different managers. Buddy really started the process with us. Rick was out there a little bit, some of this, but mainly Buddy and some of the other ones. We've all progressively just done so much, got so much in the hole. We're proud of our airport. If you can, we'd love to have you at our fly-in that we have coming up. And you were out there last year, weren't you?
So I couldn't make it last year, unfortunately.
There was somebody, there was someone young, looks like 12 years old, just like you had a badge on.
Yeah.
But that's good. Well, we're excited about it, and it's going to be a good deal. Bailey and Caleb Staton both are working real hard on it, and all the staff, so we really appreciate it. So thank you so much for the award. Bailey, are you excited about it?
Absolutely.
And on the award, so how many airports are considered in this process?
Yeah, so a little bit about the award is, so every year the outgoing president of OAOA presents awards at the annual conference that we have here. And it is presented to any of the about 120 airports in Oklahoma. They are nominated, and an awards committee goes through those nominations and selects who they think is the best. Typically it's given to an airport who has exceeded what is normally done at an airport in Oklahoma throughout the year. So it is a very prestigious award. There's a lot of competition, and it's a very great thing to get. I'm jealous. I wish I could get one. I'm a little bit about myself. I'm the airport director for Enid Woodring Airport, and so
A little cash, we can maybe help that out.
hey, I'll take that advice. I'll see what kind of check I can write. Going in as president next year, there might be a little bit.
Yeah, I got you. Go ahead.
I was going to say, do you want to take a picture with the award and the newspaper? Yeah.
Stand right up here.
That way we can photobomb.
Yeah, we can photobomb
Yeah.
like this.
Hold that up a little higher. There we go. Thank you.
Thank you.
Let's give him a round of applause.
Well, I know that the airport has a lot of potential, and I'm really excited to see it growing. And I'm very, very proud to be part of where it's going, and looking forward to all the progress that we'll be making in the future, so.
And I like that we're all hands on deck. You know, we got the bids back, you know, we're not done with it, but we got the bids back on the hangar 4, and we just were all scared to death because it was way too high. You know, we didn't award it. But we got to play together, and we went out there. Chris, City Crews, Amy loaned us some of her tools. So I had water department out there. The mayor was out there with the broom. We engineered that, and we're almost done with it. I don't know if we got the doors closed tonight, but we're doing good. So I'm excited about it. So we've saved a lot of money, but we're all working together, thinking outside the box. So Bailey, thank you so much for helping us with that.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bailey.
Thanks again.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We'll move on to D, consent agenda. The following items are considered to be routine by the El Reno Airport Authority and will be enacted with one motion. Should consent agenda, should discussion be desired on any item, it will be removed and considered, agenda considered separately. Number 1 is approval of minutes of 2012-2022 regular meeting at El Reno Airport Authority.
Make a motion we approve.
Got a motion?
Second.
Second. Start with Ms. Ryder.
Yes. Trustee Jensen,
Yes.
trustee Stephenson,
Yes.
trustee White,
Yes.
chairman Robinson.
Yes. We'll move on to discussion items. If there are none, we will ask for adjournment.
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
All right.
We are adjourned.
Give me that.
El Reno Recreational Authority regular meeting Tuesday, August 9th at 5:36 p.m. I'd like to call the meeting to order. Have a roll call. Start with Ms. Ryder.
Here. Vice Chairman Jensen,
Here.
trustee White,
Yeah.
trustee Robinson.
Yes.
Chairman Stephenson.
Yes, here. Consent agenda, the following items are considered to be routine by the El Reno Recreational Authority and will be enacted with one motion. Should discussion be desired on any item, that item will be removed from the consent agenda and considered separately. Item 1, approval of minutes of the July 12th, 2022 regular meeting of the El Reno Recreational Authority. Item 2, approval of budget amendments for the fiscal year 2021 and 2022, ending June 30th of 2022. Item number 3, approval of budget amendments for the fiscal year 2022 through 2023, ending June 30th of 2023.
Rush for approval.
Second.
Roll call vote. Starting with Ms. Ryder.
Yes. Vice Chairman Jensen,
Yes.
trustee White,
Yep.
trustee Robinson.
Yes.
Chairman Stephenson.
Yes. Item number D is discussion items. Do you have any discussion items? No. So we'll move to item E, adjournment.
So move.
All in favor?
All right.
We're adjourned.
Give old board, big board stick back. All right, here we go. It's now 5:38, and I call the El Reno Hospital Authority regular meeting of Tuesday to order. We'll start with roll call, start with Jensen.
Here.
Trustee Stephenson,
Here.
Vice Chairman Robinson.
Yes.
Trustee Ryder. Here. Chairman White.
Yes, we'll go on the consent agenda. I find those to be considered routine by the El Reno City of El Reno Hospital Authority and be enacted with one motion. Should discussion be desired on that one item, that item will be removed from the consent agenda, considered separately. Number 1, approval of minutes for the July 12th, 2022 regular meeting of the El Reno City Hospital Authority meeting.
Make a motion to approve.
I got a motion by Ryder, second by Robinson. Roll call start with Jensen.
Yes.
Trustee Stephenson.
Yes.
Vice Chairman Robinson.
Yes.
Trustee Ryder. Yes. Chairman White.
Yes. We're on discussion items. One discussion item, we're currently out to bid. We're real excited. We should bring back to you all with the award to tear down the hospital, the old hospital, not the new one. Don't write that in there, Ray. But we're getting ready to get all that deal done, so we're excited about that. I think everybody's excited about getting rid of that building. So, any other questions? Any other comments? Motion for adjournment?
So moved.
We got a motion by Robinson, second by Stapleton. All in favor say aye. We're adjourned. It's now 5:39 now, call the Municipal Authority to order. Regular meeting of Tuesday, August the 9th, 2022. We'll call order with Ryder.
Here. Trustee Jensen.
Here.
Trustee Stepperson.
Here.
Vice Chairman Robinson.
And I'm here.
Chairman White.
Oh, yeah. We'll go on to C, new business deletions, continues to agenda time. Are there any? There's not. We'll move on to D, consent agenda. The following items will be routine considered by the El Reno Municipal Authority to act one motion. Should discussion be desired on that item, then I will be removed from the consent agenda and considered separately. Number one, approval of minutes of the July 12th, 2022 regular meeting of the El Reno Municipal Authority. Number two, approval of minutes of the July 28th, 2022 special meeting of the El Reno Municipal Authority. Number three, approval of budget amendments for the fiscal year 2021 through 22 ending June 30th, 2022. Number four, approval of budget amendments for the fiscal year of 2022-2023 ending June 30th, 2023. And then we'll go on to five, approval of claims requiring trustee authorization for the period beginning July 1st, 2022 and ending July 31st, 2022. You don't want to pull anything or discuss anything?
I'd like to pull number two.
Okay, number two.
Motion to approve 1, 3, 4, 5.
I got a motion, 1, 3, 4, and 5. I got a motion and a second. Roll call start with Jensen.
Yes.
Trustee Stepperson.
Yes.
Vice Chairman Robinson.
Yes.
Trustee Ryder.
Yes.
Chairman White.
Yes. Number two, approval minutes of the June 28th, 2022 special meeting of the El Reno Municipal Authority. I make a motion to approve.
Second.
I got a motion and a second. Roll call start with Jensen.
Yes.
Trustee Stepperson.
Yes.
Vice Chairman Robinson.
Yes.
Trustee Ryder.
Abstain?
Chairman White.
Yep, we'll move on to E, discussion items. Discussion and consideration and possible action. Amendments to issue change order number 2, Waldorf Construction Incorporated for the amount of $27,579, project number M05, Water Renovations Lab, and allow chairman and mayor to sign all documents associated. This should be the last item on the change order for the lab, is that correct?
Yes.
And that's just because of electricity and some of the other items I think they missed. But the bottom line is we need to get that in. But once we get this approval of the change order in, that can move in that lab, is that right?
Yes, sir.
And then what are we gonna do with that other lab, Sandy?
We can repurpose it to another department if needed.
I wanna move it off that property, because it crowds on that area, and I wanna make sure that water didn't go on the other side. I wanna make that wider on there before they get out of there with that other equipment, does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
Because they're gonna set that clear coat on that one side, when you use that material to come back around, it'll give a wider variety. I want that building moved out of there so they can come back in there and give you more workroom, more area. It'll make it a lot better project. Does it make sense? I know you all know that, but I wanna make sure that's done.
We plan on getting it out of there, yeah.
Okay.
I'd like to make a motion to the change order of 27,579 to Waldorf Construction.
Any other questions then? Okay, got a motion? Second. We'll go second by Stafford, roll call start with Ryder.
Yes.
Trustee Jensen.
Yes.
Trustee Stepperson.
Yes.
Vice Chairman Robinson.
Yes.
Trustee Ryder.
Yes.
Chairman White.
I'll vote too, yeah.
Sorry.
I'll go ahead and vote too if you want me to, yeah. Motion for adjournment? I got a motion by Robinson, a second by Jensen, roll call start with Jen. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
We're adjourned. Anybody here from the Ministerial Alliance? I don't have my glasses today, guys, so bear with me. It's now 5:42. I now call the El Reno City Council meeting, regular meeting of Tuesday, August the 9th, 2022 to order. We'll start with roll call, start with Ryder.
Here?
Councilman Jensen.
Here.
Councilman Stepperson.
Here.
Vice Mayor Robinson.
Yes.
Mayor White.
We've got a full house here. All right, let's please stand up and join me in the word of the Lord. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you so much for bringing us here together and give us guidance to make the right decisions for our community and for the people that we serve. Dear God, pray for rain. We need rain so bad in this area. It's been missing us. Please give us your nourishment. Provide for us. We need it so bad. Thank you so much for everything you do. Care for us. Keep all the men and women safe overseas that fight for our country and our freedom. In heaven's name we pray. Amen. Join me in flag salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, boys, let's get this deal going. We got recognition awards and proclamations. Recognition of Rebecca Garcia and Jenny Hobson for the years of dedicated service to the city of El Reno and serving on the El Reno Carnegie Library Board. And Rebecca, you're still serving, so we hadn't kicked you off yet, so don't worry about that. And Jeannie couldn't serve, but she moved out of town. That's what she did. I want to come down here And, we wanted to do this for a long time, but we've had COVID and, oops, sorry, Tracy. We've had COVID and we've had, library, new librarians come in and out, and we want to do it, but I want to tell a story about this, and we have plaques, but because of they're on the ship stuck in a container from here to China right now, so we can't give them to you. But we got the plaques ready for you, but we got some recognition. But we wanted to really recognize Jeannie and Rebecca, and we wanted to recognize all of our board members for all they do, but you get once in a lifetime when you have some special people come in, and special people recognize what needs to happen and takes a challenge to do that. And these two board members both absolutely unequivocally did that. We had, you would have thought, when we were redoing the library, you would have thought everybody would have thanked us and sent us cards, and they just didn't. And I don't think they understood what the public wanted. And I'm gonna tell you, Rebecca and Jeannie shared the same deal, because the lady called them, and they're the ones that called me over to the house and were upset with me. You know, we were talking about colors of paint and carpet, and a lady couldn't get her grandchild up to the second floor to the child's deal because she was in a wheelchair. And we're sitting here worrying about colors of paint and some things like that, when we have people that cannot, that had handicaps and disabilities, that didn't have an elevator to get up there, and so they participate in something that was their God-given right to do, just like everybody else's. And I think that's when Rebecca and Jeannie just said, let's just dig in and let's get it. And you know, I just tell you, I go to that library all the time, and it's just a wonderful place. And what it's become is just incredible. And for what the static that we had on Facebook and all the criticism that people had, and even had council members vote against it. What we've done with that library has been incredible. And what we provided for the citizens of El Reno is gonna last for years. And these two ladies have got people to donate money, and benches, and art stuff, and lights. I just can't say enough for board members that go above and beyond. And I want to make sure I gave you recognition, because that library is going to stand for years and years to come, and a lot of that's because of you two women. And I think that the education and the dedication you all have had for children over the years, both of you, and your specializations of your jobs and your careers, I think that was absolutely a driving force. And I think the children and the parents are lucky for the things that you've given them. So let's give them a round of applause. I'll give you these cheap deals. There's $200 back behind you. But we got the plaques coming, and I'll get them to you as soon as I can. Rebecca fell down, and Jean was sick. We just wanted to, I wanted to, come on up here, we'll get a picture of your Ray. You all turn this way.
I'm not sick.
No, you're not sick. No. I'm saying when the COVID, whenever we had the other deal.
Oh, yeah.
We all did. Get in there, Jimmy. Thank you all so much. You all want to say anything?
Go ahead, Jeannie. Well, I want to thank our city manager, Matt, for being so supportive through all this, and our mayor, Matt White. I watched them both sweat through this renovation and restoration, didn't you?
I certainly did, and they couldn't have been better.
Right, so thank you.
Thank you very much.
Well, thank you for your vision. Thank you both.
Thank you to the whole council.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, ladies.
Thank you, ladies. And we'll get those plaques with that money. Freddie's already counting the money, I guess. All right, we'll go on to new business deletions, continues to agenda time, consent agenda. The following item be considered routine by the city of El Reno and be acted with one motion. Should discussion be desired on that item, that item will be removed from the consent agenda and considered separately. Number one, approval of minutes of July 5th, 2022 special meeting of El Reno City Council. Number two, approval of minutes of July 12th, 2022 regular meeting of the El Reno City Council. Number three, approval of minutes of July 28th, 2022 special meeting of the El Reno City Council. Number four, approval of budget amendments for the fiscal year 2021 to 22 ending June 30th, 2022. Number five, approval of budget amendments for the fiscal year 2022-23 ending June 30th, 2023. And of course, number six, approval of claims requiring council authorization for the period beginning July the 1st, 2022 and ending July 31st, 2022.
Make a motion to remove one.
I'd like to move the three.
Okay, hang on just a second.
You want one?
Hang
You
on
want
just a
three?
second. So you're taking off one?
One.
Okay, you're taking off what?
Three.
Okay, So I make a motion to approve 2, 4, 5, and 6. Do I have a second? Robinson? Robinson seconds. Roll call vote starts with Ryder.
Yes.
Councilman Jensen,
Yes.
Councilman Stepperson,
Abstain?
Vice Mayor Robinson,
Yes.
Mayor White.
Yeah. All right, we'll move on to 1, approval of minutes, July 5th, 2022. I make a motion we approve.
Second.
I got a motion and a second. Roll call vote start with Ryder.
Yes.
Councilman Jensen,
Yes.
Councilman Stepperson,
Abstain?
Vice Mayor Robinson,
Yes.
Mayor White.
Yes, we'll move on to 3, approval of minutes, July 28th, 2022, special meeting of the El Reno City Council. I make a motion we approve.
Second.
Second by Robinson. Roll call start with Ryder.
Abstain?
Councilman Jensen,
Yes.
Councilman Stepperson,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Robinson,
Yes.
Mayor White.
Sure. Yes. All right, we'll move on to F, audience participation. Anyone having an item that wants to come to business here, present this to the city council, does not appear on the agenda, please come to the podium at this time, state your name, and you're requested to limit your presentation to 3 minutes. Any item being presented must pertain to the city of El Reno business. Anyone? Anyone? Bueller? Okay, we'll move on. We'll go on discussion items. 7, to conduct a public hearing, consider request by Fred Colbert to reclassify the zoning district from restricted commercial, CR, to central business district, CBD, on a tract of 0.266 acres at 508 West Wade Street, more particularly described as lots 11 through 14 of block 21 of the Keeks Edition to the city of El Reno, Oklahoma, according to the recorded plat. Therefore, I now consider the public hearing open. Dustin, where you at? All right, so Dustin, this is that area that we've been talking about, and really it needs to go a couple more blocks on the other side. This is the best thing we can do at this point in time. It went before planning commission, is that correct?
It did.
And no problems there at all?
That's correct.
No one
Yeah.
protested it?
No protest.
Okay, and it's a good fit for this area, and really we need to continue that on, kind of on the other side, because some of those other ones aren't conforming either.
Right. There are some non-conforming uses to the east that, truthfully, they're old growth development. They are up at the lot line. While the zoning district CR would require a building be 35 feet back from the property line, it would be out of character with the remainder of this neighborhood
I
development.
totally agree. All right, any other questions? Any other comments? Okay, anybody here talk against it? Public hearing closed. Okay, we'll move on to B, discussion, consideration, and possible action, amendments were already requested by Fred Colbert, ordinance number 9306, ordinance reclassifying the zoning district from restricted commercial, CR, to business district, CBD, an attractive 0.266 acres at 508 West Wade Street, more particularly described as lots 11 through 14, block 21, the Keeks Edition, city of El Reno, Oklahoma, and recorded plat.
Make a motion to approve?
I got a motion approved, second. Roll call vote start with Ryder.
Yes.
Councilman Jensen,
Yes.
Councilman Stepperson,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Robinson,
Yes.
Mayor White.
Oh, yeah. We'll go on to A. A, to conduct a public hearing, consideration request by Alphadale Stock Farm to establish conditional use permit for manufactured home within rural agriculture, A1 zoning district at 1200 North Alphadale Road, more particularly described as a part of the west half, West 2, Section 2, the east half, East 2 of Section 3 of Township 12, North Range 7, West Indian Meridian, in Canadian County, Oklahoma. I now consider the public hearing open. Dustin. This is an item that's been brought to us. They have a building out there that they're saying is falling down. They want to put a new office out there. Is that right?
That's correct.
I assume it's a cattle office. Is that what we're talking about?
I believe so.
Okay. I mean, it's been falling down for 20 years, but I'm joking with you. But so no, I'm not really. So they're gonna put a new. Well, yours is falling down too. But
That's historic.
I
Tell Billy Federson.
got a couple buildings downtown the same way, but they are historic. Anyway, the bottom line is, they want to put a pre-modular home out there. There's no, the neighbors didn't have any problems. It sits way back off the road. It's going to be used in an office. Is that right?
Yes.
I mean, it's not going to be a house or anything. I mean, I can imagine it being by the pins, But, I mean, so it makes sense. Is there any questions at planning commission?
The only thing that was stated as a in the recommendation by planning commission was the recommendation that that it be stated in the conditional use permit that it was to be used for an office only, which I don't believe is.
I don't think so, but I'll make that my motion, that's what your intent is that correct? I mean,
And if we can go to the next slide real quick, I don't want to take a whole lot of time, but I do want to mention, and I put it in the staff report, it is shown in our code that there are a set of questions for conditional use permits to hopefully aid the planning commission and the council in making decisions. Again, those were included in your packets, but I wanted to make that, this is something that's been in the code for a while, but we're trying to make sure that we see that and we ask those questions. And one of the things that I want to do over the next couple of weeks is ask, or over the next couple of months, is ask, are those the right questions we should be asking? And if not, we need to amend the code so that we have those.
and we're gonna bring a lot of codes back to you all for the next couple of months that we've been working on for 15 years since I've been here, that just need to be, Darren, they need to be brushed up to where they're conflicting on certain areas, chief. That on the fire code side, we just need to we're getting a lot of those together. We've been getting together on those for probably 2.5 years.
Yes.
A lot of these, is that correct, Dustin? So
I started working on that project when we said, hey, let's take 2 weeks and try and slow the spread of this coronavirus thing. You know, it's been 2.5 years since then.
So we're gonna bring a lot of that back to you and clean a lot of this up, but they're good questions, and like I said, this fits in there. I'll make it my motion, it has to be in office. They're not gonna have a problem with that. I mean, you don't. You all have a problem with that.
What?
I mean, okay, all right.
And
I wanna make sure.
anything else for me?
Oh, no. Okay, any other questions? Any other comments? Consider that public hearing closed. We'll go on to B, discussion, consideration, possible amendments regarding, request by Alphaville Stock Farm to establish conditional use permit manufactured home with the rural agriculture A1 zoning district, 12 North Alphaville Road, more particularly described as part of the west half, section 2, east half of East 2, section 3, township 12 North Range, 7 west of the Indian River Indian. And if you want to, I should make a deal that you have to give me that shoe shine box for voting for this. I won't do that. I make a motion that we approve.
Second.
I got a motion and a second. Roll call vote, start with Jensen.
Yes.
Councilman Stepperson.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Robinson.
Yes.
Councilwoman Ryder.
Yes.
Mayor White.
Oh, yeah, we'll go on to 9. To conduct public hearing, consider request by Brad Reed on behalf of John Von Tungling to establish a planned unit development with a base zoning district, single family residential R1 tract, approximately 65.3 acres. Concurrently with the heavy industrial I3 and zoning district at 804 Southeast 27th Street, more particularly described as part of North Half, North 2, Section 21, Township 12, North Range 7, West Indian Meridian, Canadian County, Oklahoma. I now consider this public hearing open. Okay, I saw Box out here, so I'm sure he's not here for the entertainment. Let me get Dustin first, and then I'll get you in there. Dustin, this went before the planning commission.
It did.
It failed.
It did.
Okay, 100%?
5 to 1.
5 to 1. Okay. Basically, what they want to do here, Dustin, is they want to do a PUD, and we saw that. I think I met with Mr. Reed. We kind of talked about the concerns and stuff with all the housing, and the lot lines and some things like that. I think that's what they had concerns with. Is that right?
It partially was that. There was some concern with it not being compatible with the future land use map.
Okay, that, and then I want to make sure, we did get a protest letter from Dexter, is that correct?
We did.
Okay, I know, I saw you all over there, I'll make sure. Okay, so we got
That
one there.
protest letter is in your packet. It was read at planning commission, and it's in your packet today.
Since then, I got another call from Deal across the street. So,
Mr. Justin Dill was at the planning commission meeting.
that's all, I just got a call from him. It was not in the record, though. He missed the timelines one time, too, but there was one protest. Is that correct?
That is correct.
I didn't know if he called anybody else. Okay. Dustin, let's go ahead and let's get into it, Brad and Box. Who wants to go up here first? Mr. Box?
Okay.
How are you?
I'm great, Mr. Mayor. How are you?
Good seeing you.
You too. David Box, 522 Colcord Drive, here on behalf of the applicant, as the mayor said, Brad Reed, who is the civil engineer for the project, also here. So what we have is an opportunity for some more housing. El Reno, like most cities, are facing a crisis when it comes to having available housing products. So what we are hoping to do is provide another alternative, another type of housing through a PUD. And so although we understand what your comprehensive plan says, there is some residential that exists to our east, and we do think this location would be able to provide some additional housing that El Reno does need. So happy to answer any questions. I know there was a lot of discussion in the Planning Commission. I wasn't there, but I've read the minutes. It was my understanding that there was some discussion as to what were some things in the PUD that could be added, that perhaps would ease any concerns. So we're happy to hear those this evening and perhaps address that. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Well, I talked to, is Mr. Von Tungen, is that right?
Yes.
Okay, I can't remember, we met before. You are Mr. Von Tungen? You are John Von Tungen, is that right?
Yes.
Yes, I am.
Yeah, okay. And we met before here for a zoning issue one time.
Yes.
Yeah, I didn't recognize you, what I'm trying to say. Yeah, now I'm with you, I just talked to you here recently. And I'm gonna abstain on this vote, just because I was part of I was offered the second on this, David. I was working with Ideal Homes, and that's the whole thing. We wanted, we have a lot of development going on in El Reno, but, we're trying to get the right builders in here also.
Sure.
And with that, trying to get builders, we're trying to get multiple use builders in here where we can have different options for everybody, not just on, the medium end. We might want to have a little bit higher end and some other things. So we've been talking to Tabor, we've been talking to Ideal Homes, we've been talking to Home Creations and everything. And I've been talking to them for 3 or 4 years. And they're slowly, surely, they're going to start this process here. And one of the projects that you and I worked on together was Gary Owens.
Right.
And so we're working with those people. They had a first on it, and then I think when they got in there, Brad, like I was telling you, I think they got in there and they saw the sewer, everything else, the lift station, the cost, and then they offered it to me and my group, a couple of my guys that were developers here in town. David, you know that, but we looked at it and it just made it was a little tough to do that with the price. Saying all that, I know that they want to sell the property, and I understand that. I think the problem would be here is the lots were so small, and that's what our discussion was, and the plan that we got, if you look at the plan, it's just these houses are just compacted in there, and we have a couple of neighborhoods like that, and during the process, we've made those neighborhoods do things, and I'm gonna particularly pick on one, and that's Roush Coleman. They went up, and I fought them at the state capitol, a couple of years ago, because they were wanting to change some of the rules about how much brick and everything else want to be on there. Everybody needs to have a house. I don't think, and we can put some of that stuff in the zoning. I think that was kind of the discussion. Because I was hoping that maybe they'd push this back. Because now that you did this, I have concerns. You can come back up within a year if there's another buyer. Because I know they've been sitting there for a long time. And I think we might have missed that window. But my point to you is that we need housing in here in El Reno. We want growth. No one's against that at all. I think the right and proper way to do that is what our concern is. And I think, Vicki, I'm not gonna ask you to talk, but I mean, that's what the Planning Commission's concerns were the offsets, what it was gonna look like in 10 years, the street size of how.
Small lots.
Yeah, small, tiny lots, smaller design, and I think that we were concerned with that. Now, we did look, Tim, they're doing some other product in Oklahoma City. I don't think that we're saying that doesn't work. I think what we're saying with this area, because of Dexter, Axel, and everything else, a lot of our growth area here in El Reno, I want to bring up one point, and it's close to Tracy Ryder's heart on this, and Timmy Robinson's heart. We had a neighborhood out there raising all kinds of hell, and mad at me and everything else, and every city officer, because there was a pipe yard behind their house. And that pipe yard was there way before the houses were. And I think that you're gonna have the same problem when you have industrial area out there that's zoned everything industrial around you, and a railroad track. I think that's just, I don't know if that's the right design. I'm not saying that we're against it. I'm speaking for myself. And I think that was some of the concerns from the Planning Commission and people I've talked to, and that's some of the concerns I have. If you can soften that up with some more development up front, like we talked about, with a more changing area where you can do more commercial or whatever else up front, office space, and kind of lightly go into it, have a buffer zone in between there, tie that together, but look at that land because of that easement and everything else, talking just with Matt White developer, it's pretty hard to do with that, the sewer and that land over there, because that land, you own another portion of that on the other side and you're not wanting to sell that.
Correct. Yes, sir.
Because when I talked to get the second, I called your corporate office and y'all weren't gonna sell it. So, so they have plans. So I think it goes back to the point where I think those are all the things that we need to know. And that's kind of where our concern, that's where my concern is. And I think that's where a lot of the communities are. Timmy, is that kind of? So, I mean, did I miss anything? I mean, I think that's kind of what we're thinking. I don't think anybody doesn't want growth, and I think we absolutely like to see that partial grow. You know, houses with 40-foot lots and offsets with 20-foot streets. I don't think that's what we need. And I'm saying that based on our comprehensive plan and the needs that we have.
Yeah, understood. I mean, I will say, I understand it's different cities, but if you look around the metro and around the country, this is the trend. People want less yard, they want less hassle, they want less stuff to mess with, so.
And that's okay, we've got some of that, but we wanna have options for other things too, if possible.
No, sure, and like, our hope was that we're providing a product that we know is very high in demand around the entire metroplex and around the country. So.
And I think the main concern is too, though, you know, that's our only industrial area left in town besides Valentine Town. And I think, you know, that could be an option later on with industrial, and we can still do some soft development, you know, and that's kind of what I wanted to do. And I still think there's some people interested. I just think it goes back to the point to where the cost is gonna be a factor based on the line with the cutoff from Diffie's, which I talked to, and the other side, you know, with Dexter. I mean, I think you're going to have to have some setbacks on both of those to make that right in order to have a buffer zone to do that. And then when you do that, you start cutting all that up. It doesn't leave you much room. Well, I know what they did. They had to compensate some of that without doing that other with 40-foot lots, or 45, whatever it was. It's not much, whatever it was. So.
Mayor, whenever out in Roscommon, now they're setting the setback 5 more feet additional back on that new part of the development because it's so crowded with a 20-foot offset.
We've
of the
changed
street.
that.
Right, so, and it says 20 in here.
And we also required them to have more brick and everything
That's right.
else up front.
That's right.
Because we wanted it to look a certain way. You know, that's where they kind of fought us on a little bit on that one side. And they took legislation. I mean, y'all you fought us up there at the Capitol. It was bills. We had to kill it. But anyway, all right.
I'd like to make a motion that we send it back to Planning Commission.
Well, I don't think we can do that because that's not what the deal is. And plus, I think I'm in a public hearing right now, so I can't do that at all. So
We're still in public hearing.
I'm still in public hearing, but we'll talk about that when you do the deal. But you can't do that. I don't think. Okay. Any other questions about the development? Any other statements?
Yeah, I want to briefly talk about a couple of things regarding it as well. My name's Daniel Vaughn, I'm the plant manager at Dexter.
Everything's going your way right now.
I know.
Okay, I wouldn't come up here and mess. I know, I'm just letting you know. Come on up and state your name, but I'm just cautioning you. You're in the catbird seat right now. So,
I know, I
okay.
want to make sure we end that way too on it, all right? I mean, again,
I
kind
got
of go
you.
back to what you mentioned, Article 7 residential districts. You guys say at 361-42 general description, single-family residence districts in the R districts are designed to provide quiet, low-density areas for single-family living with related recreation, religion, education, facilities protected from all commercial and industrial activity. Right. So again, what we're talking about doing here it's not a good area to do that. Right. Again, you talked about it lots of time. This is industrial. Right. So it needs to remain that. You know, hopefully we can bring more business to it. But again, I think putting housing there, to your point earlier, we're gonna get complaints 2 years from now, like, hey, the noise is too loud, right? So, just appreciate you guys making the right decision.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So your concern is noise?
Not just noise.
Okay, well, I heard noise.
Yeah, noise is one of them, right? I mean, we talked about it 2 weeks ago about the different concerns about doing that, right? Sewage is gonna have to be upgraded. It's not a good fit. It's an industrial environment, right? It's not housing, okay? It's industrial. It's industrial for a purpose. It's loud, okay? We run 24 hours, 6 days a week, okay? It's industrial. It's not living. You would not want to live behind Dexter Axle, okay?
Well, I drove around behind
Okay,
there
hang
with
on
my
just a
windows
second.
open and
Hang on just a second.
I heard
Hang
zero
on.
noise.
Hang on just a second. Can you please state your name and your address?
Daniel Vaughn.
Okay, now go ahead.
Okay, I said I drove around there, the whole thing, there's a road that goes around there.
Right.
With my windows open. I heard more noise from I-40 than I did from Dexter Axle.
But you're not there at
Well-
11 o'clock or 1 o'clock in the morning when we're still running production.
Was
Again,
there, was
this
there
is
a
industrial.
noise survey done with decibels and?
I don't know, that's theirs to do, right?
Well, I mean, you know, if we're gonna talk about noise, we gotta have some data.
Sure.
I saw that there was a noise factor that's in the letter.
I worked there when I was a kid, there is
There
noise.
is.
They're working two different shifts.
Yeah,
There's noise there.
The bottom line
Where-
is, I mean, that's the whole,
Well,
but,
they got trucks coming
In and out,
but they also
loading and-
but they also have night shifts.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's
Load-
absolutely
load-
working.
load
And in
day
the winter
and
time, or in the summertime, it was night, they had those both,
Those bright lights are on 24/7.
but you have air circulating through there on the outside, so there's not even closure on some of that, screened in area.
Right.
So,
Absolutely.
anyway, okay, you got the name and deal, any other questions?
Nope.
Okay, all right. Any other comments on the public hearing? Any other concerns or comments? All right. We'll move on to, yeah,
You're closing.
I know, hang on, guys, give me a second, let me get to the number. Okay, any other questions? I now consider this meeting closed, Article 9. Now we'll go to B, discussion, consideration, and possible action amendments of, regarding request by Brad Reed on behalf of John Von Tunglen for ordinance number 9307, an ordinance to establish a planned unit development with a base zoning district, single-family residential on a tract approximately 65.3 acres, currently with the heavy industrial I3 zoning district at 804 Southeast 27th Street, more particularly described as a part of the North Half, North 2, Section 21, Township 12, North Range 7, West End, Meridian, Canadian County, Oklahoma. Now, I want to answer your question. What we're doing is we did a public hearing, we closed that public hearing out.
Right.
Now we're voting on the action. The action was brought to us by the Plan Commission. Now I asked Mr. Reed to pull this to see if they wanted to regroup and they wanted to go ahead and go forward with it at that point in time. So at that point in time, you're voting on what it is. So you can't pull that or table that item. Now, and it's kind of one of those things, you know, and I'm going to abstain, and I'm going to suggest you abstain too because of the donation.
Have you abstained from everybody that's donated to your campaign?
I have, every time it's something else, you can look it up.
Really?
Mhm.
I'd like to look that up.
I would, and I would caution you fighting so hard for something and not wanting to do that.
I don't believe,
I
I'm
got
just saying,
you, I got you.
send it
Okay,
back.
go
to
ahead.
the
Make a motion
planning
for
commission.
denial.
I got a motion for denial.
Second.
I got a second. Roll call start with Jensen.
Yes.
Councilman Stephenson,
No.
Vice Mayor Robinson,
Yes.
Councilwoman Ryder,
Yes.
Mayor White.
I abstain. All right, thank you. All right, we'll move on to 10. To conduct a public hearing and consideration ordinance number 9308, an ordinance amending chapter 38, article 1, section 1, 2 of the code of City of El Reno, redefining ward boundaries for the purpose of conducting municipal elections in the City of El Reno. Okay, Dustin, we're back again. So,
Yes, sir.
let me make sure we're clear on this. Because I want to make sure we don't have any confusion on this again. Because there was some confusion. We had to vote on this 3 or 4 different times. So, we're conducting a public hearing right now.
That is correct.
And the last meeting we had to present what the public hearing had to be a part. If we couldn't vote on it at that last meeting, we could not bring anything to the deal with any kind of changes, with any information that we've had. Is that correct?
The public hearing to make the decision and to amend the ordinance had to be today.
That's right. So we had to come up with these other ones. So the motion that me and Timmy made and eventually the council voted for was to bring 3 different options back based on more information. And in the paper it was stated, you know, no, that's not true. We all ask questions. You can ask all the questions you want to. You have to make the ability and the change to do that. So that's why we had to make that motion. And we've done that before. Mr. Robbins, is that correct?
Correct.
To bring back up, because the only time you can bring it back up is at the meeting. Guys. So you can't just say, well, I asked some questions. Well, then what the hell are you gonna do about it? So my question is that we got 3 different choices here now. So the 3 different choices presented to us, the information that we got based on the census and everything else, you and Tim went back over there and it was based on the information that we got from OU, is that correct?
It is based on information from the CSA at OU. It is the first option that's here was option 1 last time. There's no changes to it from what was there. Options B and C were created after the request from the council to find some additional information. Would you like for me to go over the differences between?
If you don't mind, yeah, because we have A, B, and C. And the bottom line is, it's based on, the two actions would be based on whatever OU come up with. We didn't have anything to do with that. That was all you and Tim and OU people, is that correct?
That's correct.
And it shows you who it affects and whatever else. And then also we did check with Wanda.
Yes.
To see from the election board of how that's gonna impact everything else. And if we wouldn't have voted the way we could, if we couldn't have made these choices. Go ahead.
Okay, so option A was the option one at the last meeting, last time that you guys saw this. Makes very minimal changes, but it does bring the 4 wards closer to being equal as of April 1, 2020 census data to being accurate. This is probably the one which is actually the closest to having 0 difference between them. What you'll notice is in the area of Elm Street and Choctaw Avenue, heading to the southwest a little bit, there's one contiguous neighborhood there, but because of trying to get it as tight as we could, there's some ward lines that are a little interesting there. But generally, very, very little change here from our current. If we go to option B, this has no changes to any of the ward map from 2010, with the exception of moving the west line of Ward 1 west to Country Club Road.
It just kind of makes it more square.
Yeah, it widens that square, and it increases the population of Ward 1, decreases the population of Ward 4. Ward 4 is currently our largest district. It is also the district in which Settlers Crossing and Crimson Lake Estates are in. There is growth out there that outpaces everything there. We last week got Crimson Lake Estates Phase 3 drawings. We're going to have hundreds and hundreds of more homes, which is thousands of people, which means Ward 4 is the one that needs to be shrunk. This one is also fairly close in the terms of the actual population on April 1st of 2020. And this one is, like we said, it's very minimal in the terms of change. Option C is the map that I would draw if I was drawing one from scratch. It has straight lines on section lines as often as possible. You can see the ward boundaries there. Ward 1, the west line, is Country Club Road. Again, Ward 1 on the east side is the railroad tracks. It's an easy to identify spot where it changes. Ward 2 is the west side of town. Ward 3 is the east side of town. This one specifically moves Ward 4 to be smaller than the other 3 wards, because we know that growth is there, because we know that by now, 2022 versus 2020, we're probably pretty close to equal.
So the bottom line is, all of them, we got some more choices, and the reason why is we got better. I mean, depending on what you all want to do, but the bottom line is, this is a cleaner deal. But this does have the most changes.
This is absolutely more change.
Number 1 doesn't have any of the growth or anything else, and it has the prison numbers in there. But number 2, it just takes that little spot out and kind of has it basically blank even. So really, it's whatever you all want to do.
Options B and options C were exactly the 2 items that the council asked for us to go find.
Yeah, and they are to the T what you all accomplished, and they fall within the numbers. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay. Any questions? Any comments? All right. What do you want to do?
Well, based upon the fact that we have to do this rezoning based on the census numbers, and that projections and anticipation of growth is not real numbers, and least impact, I make a motion that we go with option A.
Second.
Okay. We're in public hearing.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. All right, any other questions, any other comments? Okay, let's talk about your comments. I hear you, but I think what they're trying to tell you, and like we talked about the meeting, That's not true what you said. We know for a fact that we got plans in there. We know for a fact the infrastructure's in the roadways. What we're trying to do is downsize your area because you're the most growth, and that's where the growth is. That was our concern, a couple of us, was that you wanna make this fair shake for everybody. And the bottom line is that what that does accomplish what opposite of what you're saying, Tracy. You have that plans coming down the pipe. They're in the deal. And matter of fact, we already have two sets of plans that our houses aren't built that are also on top of that we approved 2 months ago. And those numbers aren't in there either. And the other expansion of the other one's not in there that Roush Coleman's doing on the backside of it. So those aren't in the 2002 numbers. You know that's only growth is because the infrastructure's out there. What we were trying to do is trying to accommodate the citizens of El Reno. You know, being a public servant is serving the public. And it's real important that you basically, you take on what the public, wants to do, not what's your best interest. And that's fine. I just wanted to state that. I know what the plan is. You're gonna appoint David and Black and to the council. You can do whatever you want to. But I still think I want to fight for the citizens, and I hope the citizens don't forget this when this happens this way. So, all right, any other comments? Okay, if not, you got a comment?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think the law states that we go by the census.
Sure.
And, we can foresee things that could possibly happen, but they could possibly fall down too.
Well, some of them haven't fell down. Because
Well,
don't
they
forget
haven't,
these years are 2 years. The numbers you're going by was 2 years ago. So
I know.
we've done 3 adoptions to those subdivisions you currently have out there now. I hear you. We're arguing schematics. I'm just telling you, people in El Reno ain't gonna believe that, boys. We're not gonna believe what you're doing, but that's okay. You do what y'all want. I mean, you've got it all set up. I'm okay with it. But I want to argue and fight with you a little bit because it makes you feel good.
Well, yeah,
because I think y'all are wrong. I think it's just one of those things. You can't just appoint somebody just because you want to appoint David to the deal. I just don't think it's right. So, do what you want. So
That's your personality.
I understand.
You love to argue.
I like to argue.
You should have been an attorney.
Kind of am, Pete.
Well,
But anyway,
kinda not.
well, here's the bottom line is, if you don't want to do what the people want to do, and you're not looking out for the people, then don't do it. I don't care. So, any other comments on the deal? Let's just get down to the dirt. Any other comments? I consider the public hearing closed. All right, go ahead, Tracy.
Well, based upon what the census showed us and how the wards have to be redrawn every 10 years, and how the numbers line out, I make a motion that we accept proposal A.
Got a motion?
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Roll call vote, start with Jensen.
Yes.
Councilman Stepperson,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Robinson,
No.
Councilwoman Ryder,
Yes.
Mayor White.
Oh, no. 3-2. I like it. All right, we'll move on. Move on to discussion, consideration, possible action regarding resolution 2304, resolution authorizing holding a general election in the city of El Reno for the purpose of electing one elected official, council member Ward 4, setting forth the certain facts requiring state law, directing this resolution delivered by the city clerk and designated secretary of the Canadian County Board of Election Board for the purpose of giving such official notice of said election. I put this on the agenda, and the reason why it is because the article I read and then what I talked to the official about, basically you can't dual office hold, and that's in the state statute. You can't, and I think you've been notified by what I call the DA, which is their attorney at the county that handles this, and basically stated that Jack Stewart is going to have to be, take his seat at the state level, which will be appointed to that November time. So at that point in time, they're going to have a vacancy. So he'd be appointed by the governor at that point in time, or it'd be automatically filled by you because of the elected official and the short time frame of that, is the way I understand it. My halfway warm? Okay. So I just thought since we made changes, and we did change the ward map no matter what, so it's a new ward map, I thought it'd be the right thing to do for you to resign if you want to, effective that date, which just leaves you 20 days. Then you can take office at the county and do what you want to do, but it leaves it open to where the council's not filling seats or having a general election of $4,000. Saying that, they won't have an election of $4,000 because that time frame, you'll have to go ahead and just appoint them. I think it goes back to the point to where I think everybody deserves an election. I think it's fine. I've always had election. I've always done them fine. I'm not scared of elections. You just kind of need to do that. And my point is that I think you should resign to help Ward 4 get the representative. That's all I got. Any questions? Any comments?
Yeah, Tracy, were you elected by the people?
Yes,
She was.
I was.
I'm sorry that you were elected.
No, I think it goes back to the point where we agree. I don't think that, I think it goes back to the point where that's a little bit different, Pete. You know, Ward 4 thought they were gonna have an elected person for a whole nother year. So, well,
So
no,
you're
hang on.
talking 20
No,
days.
but you're saying Ward 4, she got elected. See what you try to trip this up, and you're no attorney, trust me, Yankee. I'm telling you, the bottom line is that she was elected for a 4-year term, and she decided to run for an office. Hey, I get it. I was looking at runs for some offices, and I announced way before time I wasn't gonna do it. It didn't, I ended up not doing it, don't wanna do it. I understand the whole deal.
So you're gonna resign?
I think you
So
owe.
are you gonna resign?
I think you owe it to the people for the 4 years, and I'm gonna finish my term out, like I told you, till November. I think I've been pretty clear about that. I'm finishing my term out, and I think once you've already broke the trust of the people and decided to run for another office, and you decide not to fulfill your whole term for 4, hang on,
That's your
you
opinion.
answered the question, but you're asking, you're not gonna throw something at us. But that's what the normal person looks at, Pete, and that's why you're not gonna be good up here. You gotta look at the normal person, what the reflection of the people are gonna be.
I'm
And the bottom line
abnormal
is they
and
get
you're
that.
normal.
No, I'm just saying.
I'm sorry, I
It's
didn't know I was
okay.
that
Okay,
normal.
guys, let me address this. I do not know the date that I will take office for the county.
Well, now, it's
And-
stated, now, it has to be, now, that's not true, because he gave you a date that you have to be appointed. He did give you a date.
He did not,
Okay, well,
so that date is unsure at this point. So upon the time that I have to take office is when I will present my resignation to the council. From what the council does and how many days they have to make a decision, to make an appointment for the remaining year is up to the council at that time. So I choose to remain in this seat to serve my ward until it becomes legal that I have to resign. Yes,
oh, it's your choice.
thank you.
But I wanted to bring it up, because I like to stir the pot. All right, any other questions? All right, any other comments? Do I have a motion?
I have a motion, I'd like to make a motion to reject this proposal.
I have a motion to reject. Do I have a second?
Second,
I have a motion, and a second. Roll call start with Ryder.
yes.
Councilman Jensen,
Yes.
Councilman Stepperson,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Robinson,
No, I would like to see it go to election, but that's good.
Mayor White.
I'd like to see it go to election and finish out the other term that she didn't do. Motion carries 3-2. All right, we'll move on. And I like this. Move on, discussion consideration. This is number 11, or 12. I don't have my glasses. Discussion consideration possible action regarding resolution number 23-003, resolution authorizing calling and holding a general election in the city of El Reno for the purpose of electing one elected official as mayor of the city of El Reno, and one official as a council member to Ward 3, setting forth certain facts, requirements, state law, and directing that resolution be delivered by the city clerk and designee for the Secretary of Canadian County Election Board, and the purpose of giving an official notice of said election. I absolutely make a motion, we approve this. Timmy, one
Yes,
second?
second.
I got a second.
But I do wanna say,
Yeah.
you know, just my time here, I've also had an opponent one time. She knows, you didn't draw an opponent last time. It's not like people's just in line for these seats anyways.
No.
So rather, I don't know, I haven't heard no rumor, if it's David that gets elected or had an election and he was elected, that's great. I say you're gonna have a hard time getting anybody to want these seats. You know, I've had 1 or 2 people that, since I'm stepping down, not gonna rerun, that's questioned me about it, and they're not sure they wanna run. So, we need to get people involved.
Absolutely.
And that's the biggest deal, is our community, we need some younger generation coming up with ideals. We've done a great job, enjoyed working with all y'all.
Yeah.
But, it's time to move on, speaking for me.
As
You
long
know,
as
I've
they're normal
got
people.
2 terms. Pete, I'm not here to argue about,
No.
and throw nobody under the bridge. I'm not gonna argue
understand.
with you about normal people. I'm just saying.
Don't pick that big
It's
bear
time,
with you.
it's time for me to move on. And, you know, like I said, I've got 2 terms in, so I'm excited to step down and offer my ward to somebody else, that can better our community.
Okay, any other questions? Any comments? I have a motion, second, roll call. Jensen.
Yes.
Councilman Stepperson,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Robinson.
Yes.
Councilwoman Ryder.
Yes.
Mayor White.
Oh, yeah. Okay, let's go back to 10B. I need to make a motion for emergency. That's on the ward maps.
So moved.
I got a motion emergency, second, Robinson?
Yes.
Okay, roll call, let's start with Jensen.
Yes.
Councilman Stepperson.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Robinson.
Yes.
Councilwoman Ryder.
Yes.
Mayor White.
Yes. 13, discussion, consideration, possible amendments to change order number 2, Walter Construction Incorporated, the amount of $27,579, a project number M05, water plant renovation lab, and allow chairman and mayor to sign all documents associated thereto. As authority. I got a motion for authority.
Second.
Roll call start with Ryder.
Yes.
Councilman Jensen.
Yes.
Councilman Stepperson.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Robinson.
Yes.
Mayor White.
Oh, yeah. We'll go on to 14. Discussion, consideration, possible amendments regarding the special event permit for El Reno Regional Airport fly-in and community day to be held at El Reno Regional Airport on September 10th, 2022. Bailey, we're excited, aren't we? I'm excited. I think it's gonna be a lot of fun. All right. I make the motion in there. I mean, we got the permit all filled in. We've done it before. We feel good about it. Got some food trucks coming out. It's gonna be a big day, busy day. Shore Airport. We got some airplane rides and there's a good funny video coming out.
And we probably won't have free water like we did last year.
We're gonna
We
have,
had
you know
that
what
last-
though?
We had that
You
last
know
year.
what though? Timmy, we need to go out there. We'll do that
We did.
again. We brought
We had a good time.
water out there
It was
last
the
year.
water left over from the bridge.
Bridge opening. I mean, Timmy took it out there. We stopped by the fire department. Chief put ice on there.
Yeah.
Man, we could have ran for anything we wanted. We
And it
could
was
have ran
hot
for
that
president.
day.
and won. It was so hot that day. We had 2 big old ice chests full of water. We just giving it away.
It was fun.
It was fun.
We have a few more food trucks this year, and we have a few more aerobatics and skydivers and a little bigger show this year. So it's going to be a lot of fun. It's always a good time. So.
Well, it's one of our big, it has becoming one of our big events like Burger Day and Small Town Weekend. I mean, people are looking forward to it all the time. I get a lot of questions, when is it, when is it? Well, they're advertising. I mean, get involved.
Yeah. We're gonna have a good video come out.
Yeah.
It's gonna be good. All right.
Well, I second your motion.
Okay. I got a motion second. We'll call start with Jensen.
Yes.
Councilman Stepperson.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Robinson.
Yes.
Councilwoman Ryder.
Yes.
Mayor White.
Yeah. Okay, 15. Discussion consideration possible amendments regarding the special event permit for Center Theater Arts Battle of the Bands, baby. We're excited. We had a good time. It's hot out there. Judges are terrible. But Matt, were you a judge last time? Oh, I was. Oh, yeah. Okay. We have a lot of fun. That's a good deal. And I tell you what I love seeing out there. It's kind of like the library. On the same token, you got everything from country singers out there to full rock band. I mean, a full heavy metal rock band, and it was awesome. It was just, they were just as good as it was just hard to compare. It really was. Chris, don't you agree?
Yeah, our first, second, and third place bands all got a contract out of it.
Yeah.
So they all had.
Well, because of the judging, I bet.
Yeah, I'm sure it was.
Anyway, it was good fun. Okay, no questions. You're excited. We're excited. We're ready to go. Okay, I make a motion we approve.
Second.
Got a motion second. Roll call start with Ryder.
Councilman Jensen.
Yes.
Councilman Stepperson.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Robinson.
Yes.
Mayor White.
Yes. Okay, this 16, discussion and amendment regarding the special events for the El Reno Center Theater for Arts, Matt Farrell comedy show be held downtown. He's always another one. He's a hoot. He's a good guy. A lot of fun. He emceed one of the events last year. Good guy. We love him. No problems there. Is that right?
Yeah, he'll be back again this year to
Okay. Good. All right. Motion approved. Second. However you want to do it. A roll call start with Jensen.
Yes.
Councilman Stepperson.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Robinson.
Yes.
Councilwoman Ryder.
Yes.
Mayor White.
Oh, yeah. And then 17, discussion and possible action, possible amendments regarding special event permit for El Reno Center Theater and Arts Trolley through time to be held downtown El Reno on April 29, 2022. I want to pull this item. Let's just table this one till us three get together. Let's us three get together and get a little game plan together how we're going to do this, and we can meet each other and kind of get over some of the deals. I think we wanted to get all this on there because we have the events going, just because it's easier to fill the paperwork out. But I think this one, I don't think anybody has a problem with it. I know nobody does, but let's just go over the schematics. So in case there is questions and comments, we know exactly what we're dealing with. I think we're just a little bit premature. Does that sound right?
Yes.
We got plenty of time.
Yes, we do.
Yeah. Okay. I make a motion we table. I got a motion and a second. Roll call start with, Roger.
Yes.
Councilman Jensen?
Yes.
Councilman Stepperton?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Robinson?
Yes.
Mayor White?
Oh, yeah. Okay, we're going to the financial report. Timmy, we got money?
We've got money. First off, I want to thank Karen for filling in, getting the report last month, my absence. I cannot say it's enough. Karen's an absolute gem for the city right there.
Tim, we know that.
Absolutely.
You don't have to tell us that.
But we're going to say it anyway. Thank you, Karen. We've got the new numbers in front of you. Last month, you heard that we had an incredible month. Unfortunately, the state decided to take back $270,000 of it due to a clerical error. And so that money was deducted out of our August check. In front of you, you can see the numbers, what they should be, had the clerical error not been created. And so based off that, July numbers was actually $1,026,000. The August numbers was $1,099,000. So it's definitely well above our goal for each month right there. Yes.
Well, I will tell you, I'm going to bring something to you next month, like we talked about. I'm going over the numbers, and Karen, Tim, we've got the carry forward numbers we've been working on. So we have a little plan. I do have some concerns, and I've talked to Mr. Sandich and Tim about them. I think we need to address those concerns, but I also think that we can come back and handle some of the things we talked about, maybe a month or two earlier than what we talked about, in order to do that based on the carry forward we have coming through, if we have some of these other boxes checked. So stay tuned. I think we'll have some numbers that we'll be pleased with, and I hope the employees will be pleased with, and we're pleased with. So hopefully that'll come in. Any other questions on financials? Comments? Okay, move on. We're going on to reports. Tim, you got anything?
We are still working on our fiber project. We'll be hopefully bringing some numbers and other information to you here in the next several weeks. So,
Matt?
Yeah, as we get closer to school, we have our swimming pool season has closed, and somebody that we don't ever see up here is our pool manager, Mike Boer. But he has really been just a shout out. There's a shout out to him. He has helped us the last several years, and he's just been solid for the pool. This year we've had more attendees than we've had in the last probably 10 years. I think that people are rediscovering the pool. We've made a lot of improvements over there. We're going to meet, Amy is on Thursday, we're going to meet, or tomorrow, yeah, with Mike to go over what he has planned moving into the off season. What do we need to do? What projects we need to be working on? It's those kinds of things that we can't just turn off the water and walk away and come back in the spring. We got to continue to make improvements throughout the off season, and that I just want to give him a shout out for that kind of vision and that kind of work ethic and commitment. So that's it.
Yeah, and I'm going to literally, well, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. All right, Tracy.
The only thing I have is that to bring a little recognition to, and I've already shared this with Chief Brown and with the city manager, I received a message about the behavior of a couple of officers that had gone on a well person check and what an outstanding job they did. And so that's just to say, when you see something that our servants are doing that you appreciate, pick up the phone and let them know, and call somebody who needs to know, because these people, the fire and the police are out there working in all this heavy gear, and it's horrible, and the things they have to endure in this heat. I want to say thank you, and thank you for the people that call with those messages so we can send them to where they need to be.
Timmy?
I'm good, thank you.
Pete?
Yeah, I'd like to and I talked to Mr. Sandich about this earlier, and I think we need to get Merritt back out to the tennis courts to have them relined for pickleball. Right now they're lined for pickleball, but they're using the tennis nets and they're too high. And I've played out there, and some other people played out there, and they said, "Can't we fix this?" And I said, "We'll throw it up." So, you know, if we can get Merritt back out there to repaint that, I'll be happy to. If he doesn't know how, show him how.
I'll bet you.
Yeah, well, I'm good at that.
Oh, yeah, we know.
And, you know, we can utilize the courts better that way.
Well, let's do this, and let me kind of help you and I hear you, but before, we can't redirect to do it because it wasn't in the budget numbers. But when we do the budget projects and you have those type of things, you bring those up. Now, we do
I
amendments.
thought it would be a warranty issue.
Well, I don't think so, because I think we told him, I mean, anyway, we're not gonna get into it. You're the only one in the state that says it's different. We looked it up. You're not far off on one deal. I mean, it's a combination. That guy does them like all over there. We went to 2 other places in the city. They're paying the same way, and he did them. But anyway, regardless, what we need to do is, if we can get prices on that to bring back to see if we can find it in a budget item. Because once you do this, I'm trying to help you. If you have these ideas, because you approved the budget, if you have these ideas, bring those to the budget process. And when you do that, it can be slipped to the budget in that process. Now I did put some park improvements in there on that one side, just because I knew we'd have some different ones, and I don't have a lot of it classified. But I have some in there, if we can get some prices and bring it back. But I think we need to look at, we did both, we did Burton and everything else, and we got everything done on it, right? It's been resurfaced, is that right? Okay. There was one more I thought we had to do. I know we got Frank Knight done too. And that was for the soccer deal. We got it done for the soccer deal. Let me look and make sure before he comes out, we'll see if we can get one more. I think there's one more that we might have to redo. I can't remember where it is. But we'll look at, we'll get the prices back, and then we'll see if staff can do that. Does that make sense?
Makes sense.
Okay. Anything else?
No.
Pete? I mean, no, Steve? Okay. I don't have anything either. All right. Anything else? We'll move on to executive session. Consider convening executive session for the purpose of the following: confidential communication between the City of El Reno and its attorney, Southern Revolution Operation LLC and LAG LLC versus the City of El Reno, CV 2022-219, District Court, Canadian County, Oklahoma. The City Council, with the advice of attorney, has determined that disclosure will seriously impair the ability of the council to propose litigation in the public interest pursuant to Title 25, State Statutes 307B4. I got a motion to go to executive session. I got a second. Roll calls. Start with Ryder.
Yes.
Councilman Benson.
Yes.
Councilman Stephenson.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Robinson.
Yes.
Mayor White.
Yep. Let's take our microphones off. All right, we'll come back from executive session. Do I have a motion to come back from executive session?
So moved.
I got a motion by Ryder. Second by Robinson. Roll call start with Jensen.
Here.
Councilman Stephenson.
Here.
Vice Mayor Robinson.
Yes.
Councilwoman Ryder. Mayor White.
Yes, no action in executive session. Not make a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
I got a motion.
Second?
I got a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
We got 'em.